Hey guys, I'm Betsy.
And I'm Anita.
And you're listening to
Ain't That Some Shh? You guys, it is official. It is our first podcast.
First
episode, everything.
I'm excited.
Wow, it's real.
It's real.
It's so real.
And it went by so fast.
So fast.
I mean,
we made it happen. We talked about it. It was just an idea. And now here we are recording and it feels good. It feels good, honestly.
And definitely, thank you so much for the support. We've been seeing you guys following our new Instagram page and showing us all that love. And thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We can't express how thankful we are. Mm-hmm. And we're hopefully you guys love this podcast, love the video, the YouTube, and just get something out of it, something positive out of it.
Yeah, exactly. We just hit 500, so we're super stoked. We're super grateful. Like she was saying, I am beyond excited. I am beyond grateful for every single one of you who's hit that follow button and just really believes in us. Because at the end of the day, we are doing this to change people's lives, to touch people's lives, to inspire, to have a real connection. So all of you guys that have been hitting that follow and just sharing, man, I'm so, my heart is literally jumping out of my chest. I'm just grateful.
Yeah, the welcome is amazing. Yes. But nevertheless, let's get to it.
Let's get started.
I know. Guys, you ready?
You guys are here for the tea. You guys are here for the
you're
real
here for the
raw, for the cheese, for the everything.
Yep, you're here for the everything. So this podcast is about family, relationship, and business. We wanted to bring something different to our community, something where you could relate and know that you're not alone. Whatever struggle you're going through, whether it's business, relationship, or family, you are not alone. There's many people that are going through this. So this is just a little bit of what we're going through so you can relate and just know that no matter what the outcome is, you are not alone. You are with somebody, either family, friend, but somebody's here for you. And we are definitely here for you. So let's get started.
All right.
You ready?
Well, do you want to start off by introducing yourself? Do you want to go
Me?
ahead? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Girl, you're already taking the mic, so might as well.
Okay, well, my name is Betsy. I'm a real estate agent in San Diego. I'm a mom of 3. My oldest is 14 years. Oh, he just turned 15. Happy birthday, baby.
Oh, happy birthday.
So my son just turned 15. He is, I'm an autism mom. So I hope, if you're out there with an autism child, I hope that, if you have any questions, send it to us. I'm more than happy to help. It's a subject that, more kids are being diagnosed, but not a lot of parents know what to do. And they're starting from zero. And, instead of there's no manual for it, right? So if you guys have any question on that, please reach out. I'm more than happy to help. I have a 9-year-old. She's my diva. And a 5-year-old, and she's my sassy one. But it's, it's something that I would never change. And there are struggles as being a mother. There are struggles as being a business owner. But you just have to surround yourself with the right people. And your circle have to be motivating and just supporting you the whole way.
Yeah. I do have a 6-year-old daughter. Her name is Mila. She's going to be 7 soon. And I do have a soon-to-be 1-year-old. They are both from the same month.
Already?
Already. He's going to be 1 next month. February 6th, February 23rd.
Ooh, back-to-back birthdays. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he's going to be 1 already.
And tell us, you have new projects coming up here.
I do. So I forgot about that. Aside from being a stay-at-home mom, I do YouTube, like I said. And I am launching my own business, which is my merch. And I'll get into that more. If you follow me on Instagram, you might see what I'm doing and what I'm working and what I'm launching. But I just got certified.
Yes.
I went for a 4-day course for microblading. So I'll be doing ombre, microblading, shading, eyebrows. Girl, let me sleek your eyebrows. And I also do have another business, which is plasma fibroblast. So it's it's pretty much all in the beauty industry. It's just different services that I'll be offering. And that's pretty much it. That's all I'm doing right now, as of right now. And obviously the podcast.
The podcast. So now that we are here and you know a little bit about us, why did we decide to launch a podcast? You want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. So I think me and Betsy just became really close a few months ago. But we've been having this really raw connection. And I feel like every time we would spend hours on the phone, like literally 2 hours. And every time we were on the phone, we would just say some really good stuff. I still am. I'm going through a really tough time in my life. And every time I talk to her, it's just, we end the call and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm that boss bitch. Like, I need to get my shit together. So, we were talking about it and every conversation we had was so deep.
Yeah.
And I felt we could share it. It was just like so raw, so genuine. And that's when we were like, damn, why aren't we doing this for a podcast? Why isn't more people listening to this, right?
And then I think it also came about, so I've been trying to do this for a year, and I offer Anita to come on board, but I believe you had just had Aiden.
I just had Aiden.
And there was just too much going on. And for myself, I'm kind of glad that didn't happen because I had a lot going on. I was still trying to figure out my business, trying to juggle the kiddos.
Yeah.
So I think if I would have probably started back then, I probably would have been done by now because it was just too much. I was not in a place where I could structure myself to add something to my plate.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, a couple months ago, we got close and like our conversations, like every time we would talk, we're like, damn, that should be a podcast.
Exactly.
Damn, people need to know about this. And I believe that time that you said, let's do a podcast was because somebody reached out to you and say how they could relate to you. And how they're going through the same struggles and they didn't have the courage to talk to family. They didn't have courage to talk to their friends because they were either going to get judged badly or they were going to be seen different, right?
Just scared.
Yeah, exactly. And so in our culture, we hardly talk about depression. We hardly talk about PTSD, anxiety. It's just, amarrate los pantalones. You got this.
Sí.
And it's more than that. So I believe somebody reached out to you. She said that how much she could relate to you. And we were like, can you imagine how many women out there right now don't have that support system, don't have that one friend that they could talk to and then either call them on their or, just be real with them.
Exactly.
So that's when you were like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do the podcast.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like all the amount of messages that I was getting and people were really saying like, can you do a podcast, Anita? Or can you share more about your life, what you're really going through? So we can, there's a lot of girls that were able to relate to me. So it was just, can you do more? I want more. I want more. Like, how can I come out of this like yourself? So that's when
it happened.
Ain't That Some Shit was born.
And you guys are probably wondering about the name, but
Betsy.
Me. But it's just I'll probably share about it a little bit more later, but it was something that I could relate to because it's not always roses and,
it's not
pink and unicorns. It's people go through some tough stuff. And at the end of the day, you have to get up, pick up where you left off and keep going. And when you look back, you're going to be like, damn, I went through all that and I'm here. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm here.
True.
And a lot of people say, don't look in the past, keep going forward. But no, sometimes you have to reflect and pat yourself in the back and see how far you've come along. And that should just give you more motivation to keep going, to reaching for your goals on whatever you want to do, family, relationships, business. Just don't be so hard on yourself. A lot of people are going through some same stuff. So that's the reason, how I came up with that name. Yeah.
And I loved it. It was so raw. And I felt it really, really connected with our conversations.
Yeah.
I was like, it just rounds up perfectly.
And I think I called you like, are you sure? How are people going to take it? I was doubting the name. I was like, no. And she's like, I like it. I was like, yeah, but let's just start throwing some names out there again.
And she was like, going back to that
we just kept going back to it. I was like, you know what? I'm leaving it alone. And I'm when you're going to get to know me a little bit more, but I second guess myself a lot. So I'll have something like, dude, that sounds so good. And I'm like, nah, it doesn't sound so good. So like, I'm like my worst critic, which,
I feel like we all are.
We all are, yeah. So, but, it stayed. And then we picked the theme song, of course, because of copyright reasons. We cannot post it on our
Yes.
YouTube and stuff, but we will be blasting it on our Instagram.
I love it.
And it just related to everything that we're going through. So from the song to the name to how everything fell into place, and then people asking you, do a podcast. Because I believe once we decided to do the podcast, somebody messaged you, right?
Yes. I think, well, no, I actually did on my stories.
A Q&A.
A Q&A, and then that's when somebody was like, when are you launching a podcast?
Oh, you should do a podcast.
You should do a podcast.
I relate to you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's when I was saying, oh, stay tuned. And I tagged Betsy because I said, as soon as I post it on my stories, it's a commitment.
It's real.
It's real. There's hundreds of people watching my stories. So I know that I cannot back down. It's a commitment. We have to do it.
And you didn't even give me a warning.
I did not. I just tagged her. I mean, we had talked about it over the phone, but
we were going to launch it sometime in 2022. It was in the works, throwing ideas back and forth. And all of a sudden, I was done showing.
Yeah.
And I just see, like the ping, ping, ping on my Instagram. And I'm like, what is this? And I ignored it. But then it just kept going. And I'm like, what is this? And then I looked and I'm like, oh my God, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. And I was like, oh, dude. And she's like, it's real. Now we got to commit. And I was like, I'm not ready.
Which was what, about a month ago or less?
Less than a month ago, yeah.
So we literally put everything together in matter of weeks.
Yeah, weeks.
I feel like the conversations have been there for a while though,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole content, from the name, from the logo, the studio was like 2 days ago.
We're not gonna lie, guys. We weren't ready with the studio, and thank you so much that they were able to fit us in at such short notice, accommodate, and like they've been so great. We're gonna put all their information below, but it's just everything has just.
It's been happening the way it should have.
When things happen consecutively and those doors keep opening like right after the other, it's because it's meant to be like
We're
that.
on the right path.
Exactly. And the one thing you want to do, I'm a big faith believer. I believe you are. Mm-hmm. That, as long as it's blessed by God and He's the one opening our doors, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are. So we're excited, guys. There's going to be so much for you guys to learn about us, about our lives. And I hope you guys do learn about yourselves as well.
Yeah, and relate to us. And just know that you're not alone. I know, you're going to start following our page. You've been following Anita. You're probably going to start following me. But don't get focused on the pretty stuff that you see on social media. It's not always pretty. There's the stuff that people don't like to discuss just because it doesn't go well with, their business or their niche, and they're there to, grab you on look what I'm doing and inspire. But you know what? Sometimes we need to know what that person went through so we could relate and be like, okay, if they went through it, we could do it.
I can get out of it too.
Yeah, I could get out of it too, and I could be successful, and I could be that person I want to be, and, all the stuff that you want to be and accomplish. So we're going to get raw. Yeah,
because I feel a lot of times when we are going through a situation, we get so stuck in our head, in our own thoughts, that we feel we are the only ones going through that at the moment, and we feel like we're drowning. Mm-hmm. And there's no one out there that can share their experiences or what they're actually going through, or that you can relate, So for me, that was a big thing I wanted to share, because if you guys don't know, I did share how I just had a baby a year ago, almost a year ago. So postpartum depression really hit me along with regular depression. So that's a lot that I've been dealing with. And just, I felt like I couldn't relate to anybody. There wasn't nobody talking about it. Honestly, on social media, it's so hard. You see all these influencers posting the lifestyle they're living at the moment. It's rare to find someone that's going through something hard and actually documenting it, sharing it. So for me, I felt very alone, very like I was drowning. Lost. Exactly. Yeah. And that's when I found you, and I feel like you helped me.
Well, girl, you found me a long time ago. You just didn't want to be with me. Let's just put out there.
I know.
I've been trying to. So, I know Anita through her significant other. And, I've been trying to reach out to her, like, hey, let's go do this, let's go do that.
When I was pregnant.
When you were pregnant, yeah. And she was like, no, I'm busy, I'm going through this. And I kind of, wanted to make sure that you were okay, because I've been through that part, like
Right.
when you're pregnant, everybody makes it seem like it's all beautiful and, all butterflies and I can't wait. No. Some of you guys may have like the perfect pregnancies. Some of you guys probably don't like to get pregnant. I was the one that didn't like to be pregnant.
Yeah, me neither.
I went through a rough time. I love being a mom, but the pregnancy side of it was just so hard for me.
It's so hard.
And I myself went through postpartum depression. And so I kind of wanted to make sure that you were okay. I don't even know, just low-key just wanted to know if you were okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, she kept blowing it off. Like I kept...
And I feel like it wasn't anything against her. I think it was more of...
Es que era salvadoreña.
No, las pupusas. I love pupusas.
I should have taken you some. Maybe you would have opened the door.
I know. I'd be like, okay, you can come in.
You can come in. You could be my friend.
Right? No, but it was more of a internal thing. Obviously, like I said, going through depression, you tend to seclude yourself, and interactions, just being social was giving me anxiety. So all I knew was the kids and home. That's it. Anything outside of that would give me anxiety. I was like, I can't know. Like, how am I going to leave my kids at home and go and do things like that? So it wasn't anything personal with her. She tried so many times. She was willing to go do pregnancy yoga with me, and she wasn't even pregnant.
Right.
She's like, hey, like, do you want to find a place in like Mission Valley so we can go and
I forgot about
yoga?
That. I was so gonna go do pregnant yoga. It wasn't even, I mean, I could have played the part, but I could have figured something out.
No. She's like, put a fake belly and stuff.
Something would happen.
Yeah, no. So she's really been trying, and you invited me to several places a few times.
Yeah.
And one I do regret badly, and that was Maluma.
Oh.
She invited me to that concert, and I did not go, which now I'm like,
it was a great concert.
It was a great concert. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you guys have seen Maluma in concert, he's great. I love him.
So anyways, the second concert she invited me to was Mark Anthony's. And that's the one I was like, okay. And at this time, I was going through a really rough time with, what do you call my significant other?
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing things differently. I need to get myself out of this hole. And in order for me to do that, I need to start doing different moves. So I accepted the invitation.
And that almost didn't happen.
I told you, right?
So I got invited to, I didn't even know Mark Anthony was going to be here in San Diego. And I already seen Mark Anthony. I took my mom to a concert before COVID, pre-COVID. And one of my coworkers, she's also an agent. She's like, hey, you want to go to a Mark Anthony concert? And I was like, when? She's like, tomorrow, or like 2 days after. It was like really soon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, you have tickets? And she's like, so one of my sister's friend is no longer going. She has 3 tickets. And I was like, I'm down. I'll go. And she's like, I guess she's going to lose another ticket because we can't find nobody to go. And so I texted you. I don't know why. I just texted. I was like, hey, you want to go to Mark Anthony concert?
I know, yeah.
I honestly, low-key, thought you were going to say no. I was like, no.
No, I was actually going to say no. I was like, I mean, I do like his songs, like 2 or 3, like that I've heard. But I don't know. And I was like, you know what? Let me do it. Let me say yes.
So I was very surprised when you said yes. And I called my friend. I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and buy that other ticket. And she's like, oh, my sister's going. And I'm like, oh, crap. So then I was like, hey, are you sure you're going to go? I was like, yeah, I'm going, mamas. And I'm like, damn. But I knew that if I would have told Anita, like, there's no more tickets for you, we have to look for one, she would have been like, no, it's okay, don't worry. So I didn't even mention anything to her. I went and I looked for another ticket close to that section. And I mean, if you know, at concerts, you could just scoot down and, join your party, whatever. Yeah. So I found one seat literally on the next aisle, like to the top. So if anything happened, I was just right there, right? So we did that. She had no idea till we were there waiting. And she's like, what?
I was like, no, wait, why did you do that?
Why'd you do that? And I was like, because I know you would have said no.
Yeah.
And you were like, I would have said no.
Yeah, I would have said no.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason. People are placed in your life for a reason. Mm-hmm. And ever since that, that day we became super close.
We were close. We would, check up on each other and stuff. And then you told me a little bit of what was going on, but it was just like very little,
not deep.
And I think once things got serious and it was affecting you, I believe I was like, hey, how are you holding up?
Yeah.
And that's when you started sharing. And I was like, wow.
And I feel like we really related just because you went through the same thing, And so she was able to make me feel I wasn't alone. And that for me was like, okay, I have someone that's going through it. Because a lot of times when you're going through a certain situation and you tell someone that has never been through it, it's like whatever they say, it kind of feels like
irrelevant.
Well, you don't know. You don't know what I'm feeling, So having that person that's been through it and can share their journey, and it's just I felt like that connection right away. Even our conversations, I just felt like I could trust her, and we just hit it off. Honestly, we hit it off. Her support has always been there. Like I told her, I'm like, you're a godsend because, I don't know what be here.
No, she is right. No,
I
she
know.
is.
I'm like, I'm gonna cry.
No. But you got this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I actually went through the same thing in the beginning of last year. Definitely for very, very different reasons. A lot of mine had to do, being autistic parents, and that takes a toll on your relationship.
So
it's very hard. So, but I did, I was able to relate to you. I was able to relate what you're going through. And I believe I even told you, I was like, look, these are the steps you're going to go through these couple of months coming up.
Yeah.
And I believe like you kind of agreed, but I think you were hesitant.
Yes.
And then now that you're going through the steps, it's like grieving. Leaving a long-term relationship is like grieving. Exactly. It's like losing somebody, but they're still alive. You're still seeing them and still, having that connection with them. But it's a grieving process where you're like, okay, first I feel this way. Now I feel this way. Now, okay, I'm getting myself back up. Now you're starting to feel this other way about this person. It's just a process. So
there's stages, like
there's stages, exactly. So I was able to express how I went through it, how I'm overcoming it. And we became really, really close. We talked almost every day for like 2 hours.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And texting back and forth in between. So it was just, and
1 o'clock in the morning, text messages.
I know, 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning. Oh my God. No, but
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Let's not get into it because I'm going to cry.
No, but I'm very proud of you, how you're overcoming it, how you're stepping up to the plate. I mean, you're accomplishing a lot of things that you've been wanting to accomplish now.
A lot,
and sometimes we need that little, unfortunately, that little low in our life, that low experience in our life, that you get that motivation and be like, you know what? I got to do this.
Yeah.
This is what I have planned. This is what I've been wanting to do. And it's time.
It was honestly my breakthrough, I feel like, So, like I've told you before, I feel as I was thrown into the water and it's like, bitch, swim. You swim or you drown.
You drown.
You know? So.
And you're swimming, baby.
I'm swimming.
You're swimming.
I'm swimming. I'm trying to get to the end, you guys.
You're an Olympic swimmer now.
Damn. I think you're having good arms.
I'm going to give her a gold medal.
I know. Let me go to the Olympics.
No, but you're doing great, and I'm so happy. And it's definitely... Thank you.
And you're definitely an inspiration. So.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, we're gonna cry. Yeah. We're gonna go on the first date. I'm just kidding.
We need a break. Commercial break.
Hey, almost.
And this is sponsored by
Home Goods. And Ross.
Was it Marshall's, girl?
Marshall's. Oh, Marshall's. Yeah. Okay, I shop at Ross.
Can we even say their name?
No.
Can we?
Sponsor us. No, but I do want to share a little bit more about me, my background, my story, my struggles, because like we said, this is what our podcast is about. I think it's been really tough, really, really tough being a mom. Being a stay-at-home mom and having my family. Oh my gosh. Woo.
It's okay. You got this.
I was not expecting to cry.
Yeah. You got this.
It's harder than I thought.
I know.
Betsy.
You got this.
No, but I do want to share how I've been juggling, obviously being a mom now, a single mom, I
Single
would
mom.
say. And 2 kids. And I feel like this is the hard part because I have a 6-year-old and almost a 1-year-old, and the time gap is so different where I kind of have to cater to both of them differently. Obviously, our little one doesn't know what's going on as opposed to my 6-year-old. She's a lot older. She knows what's going on. So it's been hard on her, you know. I'm not gonna lie. I've noticed her attitude and the way she's been holding herself. You know, she's trying to be strong. And I feel like that's
Okay.
yeah. I know. And I feel like that's probably the hardest. It's when you have kids.
Emma, she was just, I miss daddy. But she didn't know, like,
Why?
it was missed because he was not there at night. And like the
Exactly.
pattern and the structure was broken. But my 9-year-old, I feel like she felt like all the resentment, all the, the what's going on. Like it's different. And you started seeing her, like her little, not knowing how to cope with her feelings turn into like
Yes.
anger and like talking back and like,
Yes.
and every time she would get mad, she'll be like, I'm going to my daddy's house.
Yeah.
I'm like, go. Go.
Let me pack your bags.
Yeah. And then she'll be like, no, I don't want to go. But, it definitely, only because they're small. I mean, they don't understand fully like the whole situation, but they know.
They know. They're smart.
And so,
I feel kids are so smart with all this going on. It's why isn't daddy here? Why is this happening? So little things like that, which like I said, it makes it so much harder to move and try. Obviously, you're grieving, but then your kids are also grieving, so you have to be strong for them.
So there's a part of you that's breaking, but the other part of you that has to show the strong mom, I got this.
Yes, exactly.
But behind closed doors, you're a mess.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been hard. Obviously, doing my own thing now is hard. Being with someone for 13 years, half of my life pretty much. So
I know. It's definitely a game changer. It's definitely different.
Very different. Yeah. So, you have to get used to breaking that
cycle,
pattern, that
structure.
So, it's a lot of readjusting, and obviously we moved houses, just me and the kids. So juggling, trying to juggle myself, trying to juggle my businesses, trying to juggle the kids, trying to juggle just life in general has been very hard. But, I take it day by day, just really trying to survive as the day goes by. Sometimes it's more of like fake it till you make it kind of type of thing every single day, and just really trying to be strong for the babies more than anything. And being strong for myself as well. Because at the end of the day, I had to learn the hard way that, nobody's going to love you the way you're going to love yourself. And nobody's going to put you first the way you should. So that has been very hard, and it's been a very hard lesson. But, I'm trying to get through it. And this is why I felt like it was important to share my journey, to share my life, because I know a lot of you guys are out there struggling or, going through the same thing and just trying to get out of it,
And I think that, through the whole process, you're learning also, self-love.
Absolutely.
And you're starting to see a clear picture on what really does Anita want.
Yes.
What is it that, makes me happy? And, a lot of people, like you and I have talked about it, being in social media, I mean,
it's hard.
It's 10 times harder because you have the people that are supporting you, but then you have the people that are also bringing you down.
Judging you.
And for some reason, some way, type of form, just because you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're an influencer,
they're entitled.
They feel like they're next to you, hip to hip, knowing every single move you're doing, which is very inaccurate because, you've shown me the messages that you get, and it's like, wow, like,
People are cruel.
Cruel out there. Very cruel out there.
cruel.
But you know what? There's the people that support you, that could relate to you, and that even though this story must be very hard for you to put out there, you're going to have that women right there sitting behind the camera, you know, watching on their phone
phones.
and saying like, wow, okay, like I could do it. I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to do this. I feel like this. And if she could do it, I could do it.
Yes.
Because we're all human. We're all the same. You know, you're an influencer. I'm a real estate agent, you know, different worlds, but we relate with something.
Exactly.
And it's a point where we start building each other up as women. And men go through this.
Oh,
not only women,
100%.
men go through this. You know, men have to go and find themselves, you know, get that help they need to overcome what they're going through. Because believe it or not, everything that you lived through as a child, for some reason, it stays behind, you know, some part of your brain.
Trauma.
But it peaks. It starts coming out when you're older, when you're married.
Things trigger it.
And exactly, that's the word. You get triggered, and all of a sudden, something that you said you weren't going to do, you're doing it. Something you said you weren't going to be, you're being.
Exactly.
So we don't know that because in the Hispanic community, we don't talk about this. You know, if you're a man, eres hombre, aguántate.
Aguántate. Los hombres no lloran.
No, los hombres no lloran. Y si eres una mujer, te querías casar, querías tener hijos, ándele, agárrese, corona.
Exacto.
So,
no puedes, no. It's true, you know, I feel as in the Hispanic community or, you know, just our culture.
We're quiet about it.
We're quiet. And I feel mental illnesses get overlooked way too much.
100%.
It's like, we don't believe in that.
No.
Eso no.
Well, it's just, I don't think that we don't believe in it. I think that we are not wanting to accept it.
Yeah.
And not till you accept it, you can't heal.
Yes.
So I think that's, you know, and we are taught like, lo que pasa en cuatro paredes es lo que pasa en ese espacio es entre ustedes dos. Lo que pasa entre matrimonio es entre ustedes dos. Yes, to a certain extent.
Exactly.
You know? And in my situation, I know that, you know, I went for, you know, let's do counseling together. Let's try to fix this. Because my mom was a single mom, but she put my brother and I through therapy. You know, we went through a lot when we were kids, and I went through a lot when I was a kid. So she right away, therapy. I've been going to therapy probably since I was like 9, 10. Not anymore. But I've been, well, I should. I should.
now she's like,
yeah. Now I think about it, I should start going again. But, you know, she knew that we had trauma, and there was some way, type of form that I had to heal it. And she couldn't help me heal. Yeah. Because coming from a mom is just like, it's different.
It's different. You take it different. She doesn't know how to approach you in the right way that she should.
Exactly. So then she was very pro counseling therapy. So I knew that. So when I was married and I was having trouble with my marriage, I always was like, let's go to marriage counseling. Let's go to therapy. And, you know, my significant other was like, nah, that doesn't work. And even though he had trauma, to him, it didn't work. It was, we got to fix it between us. We got to talk between us.
Like
and
nobody
it's like,
comes in between us.
Yeah. And to a certain point, you have to get somebody to look outside the box.
Exactly.
So they could be like, hey, call you on your shit. And be like, hey, no, this is what it looks like that you're doing. You don't mean to, but this is what it's coming out, you know? And they teach you certain like lingo so you guys could both, you know, not trigger each other. But you will not know that till you get that help.
And you know what? I was actually, I never believed in that, to be honest. I had my daughter when I was 23 years old. And with Mila, I had postpartum depression. Bad. This time around, I had it. I wouldn't say as bad as I had it with Mila.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but with Mila, I was like 72 pounds, dude. I was just skin and bone. I was so depressed. It was just bad. And I was in a really dark place, and I never thought about getting help because it was just kind of like a shame. It's like, you're a mom. Like, how are you gonna go and
you just had a baby, or you're having a baby. You should be happy. It's the best moment of your life.
Exactly. Like, you should be happy. Why are you trying to get someone to help you? It's not okay to ask for help. That's mom guilt. I was literally being so hard on myself. I was my worst critic. And I didn't believe in therapy. Obviously, they, you know, when you go to your doctor's appointments, they ask you your questionnaires. Are you feeling this way? No. Because it was also fear. I was young. I didn't look into mental illness for me was never like a thing. Never looked into it. I was just thinking, okay, people go to therapies, blah, blah, blah. It was just overlooked at. So a lot of times it was something I didn't believe in. I thought, okay, if I do go, they're going to take my baby away. You know, they're going to think I'm crazy. And maybe they're just tricking me into, you know, trying to see what I really think. And, you know, there was times where I had really dark thoughts to the point where I wanted to run away and just never come back.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. But I never wanted to seek for help because it was just that ego and just that pride. And it was just like, well, how are people going to see me? Like, how is my family going to think like she's going to therapies because she can't be that mom? Like, why would you know,
very hard on yourself.
Very, very hard. And it all comes down to, you know, how you grow up, you know.
Well, also, I think it has to do with your support system as well.
Exactly.
Your support system is very important. And for me, being raised with a single mom and my grandmas being single moms, you know, we got this. No nacimos con un hombre. Like, we got this, you know? But it's not that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, it's not supposed to be like that. And now the older I get, it's like, okay, yeah, it's actually a team. You know, when one's down, the other one's there to pick them up. No matter how hard it is on you, you got to be there. Put the face on. Exactly. And then when she's up, then let's pick you up. Exactly. Or vice versa, right? Or maybe at the same time. You never know. But unless you guys both, you know, have a great open communication and just are able to deal with it, you guys should be okay. But sometimes you being in a depressed state, you know, going through all the struggles, and you isolating yourself, you're no longer, you're toxic now. Exactly.
Well,
you know, that's what they assume. You're toxic. Yeah. And it's like, no.
It's not that you're toxic.
I need your help.
Exactly.
No, I need your support. Give me that hug. Don't let me tell you to hug me. Hug me. You know?
And I feel like a lot of people don't know that, because even when you go through the depression, there's moments where even though you want to do so much, you just can't. Yeah. You just can't pull yourself out of that dark place. Either, you know, you don't shower, you don't want to get up from bed. Yeah. You don't want to do anything.
It's so hard to get off of bed.
Oh yeah. And a lot of people assume she's lazy. She doesn't want to do shit with her life. When in reality, you're fighting your own thoughts.
Mental battle.
And that's the hard part, you know, because a lot of people see it as in che huevona.
Yeah.
You know, oh, she's bringing, all she does is talk about negative shit. Yeah. All she does is, like you said, being toxic. And it's sad. It's sad. It's honestly sad. And that's the reason why a lot of people are afraid to speak up. Because you start getting viewed as in, I mean, when I opened up about my issues, like my mental illness, I was getting DMs about people actually saying that I was just saying that for clout. That I was just trying to get attention. And it's so sad, because I was like, this is the reason why a lot of people commit suicide. This is a lot of reasons why nobody wants to talk about it. Why? Because of people like you that are so close-minded, and you expect everyone to come out of what they're going through the same way you would handle. You start thinking that everybody should live their life the way you would, you know? And it's honestly sad. And I should have blasted that person, honestly, on my Instagram.
But it's okay. Now you know that was probably the fire you needed to create this. And now we are speaking to a wider range of, you know, if you're going through this, male or female, and you have a family, you're not alone. Seek help. There's many resources out there. So for free. So, you know, don't feel alone. We are with you. We understand you. And just know that everything that everybody puts out there to seem that they're happy and they have this great, amazing life, there's always something. There's always something they had to go through. And we're happy that they're going through their amazing life, right? But before they got there was something that they had to overcome. Something
to get to where they're at.
To get to where they're at, exactly. So now we're here, and I hope you guys can relate with us. Send us messages if you guys, you know, have any questions that we could answer through the podcast. And, you know, just be yourself, and just know that everything that you're doing is amazing, and just set your goals, you know. One of my goals is, you know, to spend more time with my kiddos this year. I was so consumed with work, and now, you know, I decided, you know what, I need to make time for my kids. Like, what can I put out, outsource so I could
You
spend
can
more time on kiddos.
prioritize.
Prioritize, exactly.
Revalue your
So
priorities.
balance, definitely.
Yes,
And
100%.
especially when you're in business, like I said, this podcast is about family, relationship is business. So if we move to the business side, we see all these people posting their beautiful cars, expensive cars, amazing homes, their lavish lifestyle. But in reality, it's like, is it?
Is it really that?
Is it really that? And if it is, what helped you get to that? Because before everybody gets to where they're at and be successful, they went through the dark shit. They went through the phase where like, am I good enough? Can I do it? Is it going to be successful? Are people going to accept me? Are people going to buy my stuff?
All
the negative thoughts, that go through your head. These successful people went through it. Just like with any other successful business, that you went through the struggles, but you overcame them. And now you are where you're at. So this podcast is not only to show, the guests that we're about to, invite into our podcast, to show you where they're at, but also to tell you the struggles and all the stuff that they have to go through to get where they're at, to drive that nice car, to get, that successful business that they're creating or they have created. The other thing, family, right? We're touching family, how to juggle family and all this other stuff in our life. For me, my kiddos are number one.
Absolutely.
But when you're running a business, sometimes they don't feel number one.
Taking time away from them.
Yeah.
There's so much mom guilt and
even dad guilt too.
Oh,
because when you have when you're a male, you have another type of baggage. The provider. Right. I have to provide. I have to make sure there's food on the table. They have a roof over their head.
And also make them feel like you're there.
Exactly.
Because if you're always gone, it's a mental battle that you have to as well battle. You already have that stress being the provider, and now on top of that, it's like, well, are my kids gonna forget about me? Mm-hmm. So. Like she said, it also comes from male. And
it goes back and forth.
Exactly. And, obviously we're two women, but a lot of men also go through this stuff. And
I have a lot of friends that did, a lot of friends that, are doing amazing in their career. But, they also went through the struggles in the relationship, the struggles in the family. And in some time, during that whole process, they figured it out. And now they're learning how to juggle the kids, the business, the wife,
for them.
The relationship, their mental health. Mm-hmm. So I don't want you guys to think that we're just here, chatting and creating something so you guys could come. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of you, let's keep it honest, are here to hear what she has to say about whatever situation you're going through right now. But honestly, this is just here to help you, to relate to what we're going through and to know that you're not alone. Male or female. Right. And that's why we're going to also bring guests along that are male so they could give you their perspective. So, yeah.
Because also I feel that when we sometimes get so consumed in just the female. Mm-hmm. Well, what about the male?
Exactly.
And it's also going to be beneficial for those of you guys, if you're in a relationship, help you understand your partner. If you're wondering why they're acting a certain way, obviously, men have a different way to communicate.
To show
love, all of that, right?
Yes.
Which for us, it's so confusing. It's like, come on, all I want is communication.
How the hell don't you know?
How do you not know that I want a cake?
Yeah, or how did you not know that I want a date after like 6 months of not doing nothing together by ourselves with the kiddos, right?
Exactly. And a lot of times, the way we think completely opposite, our love language completely opposite, right?
100%.
I feel as, we bring male guests, they can share what goes through their mind, why it is that they act a certain way. And, I think it's good for you guys to also have that perspective and be aware. And, next time you see your husband acting a certain way, you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's feeling, unappreciated. He's feeling something. And, just have that communication.
It's so funny you say that because my significant other, when we'd have arguments, I'll be like, you need a female that's a best friend, but that you won't get with, but a girl that could tell you, be like, la estás regando, güey. Like, you're being an ass, like, go get her this, or she's trying to tell you this. Like, sometimes the man needs that, but it's confused because it's hard for a man and a female to be friends. Of course, those boundaries are always there. And just know that it could be possible, but those boundaries have to be there. And your communication with your spouse has to be on point. Like, she's just a friend, babe, and she has to feel comfortable, right? Because I wouldn't want my significant other going out there and be like, we're just friends, but then you know how I feel about that friend.
Right.
So
well, it's just like like his intentions are, they're like, it's not my intention, but it's like your actions say the complete opposite.
Exactly. So we are your best friends for the males.
Yes.
Through the camera. So send us your messages on how we can help you on your relationship, on your business, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think that both parties need that support.
Right.
And like you said, a man is not, we are talking about women like, she takes care of the kids, she does this. No. But no, men need that, that spotlight too, because they go through it.
And guys, I feel it's so hard for them to open up. I think as women, we love to share our emotions. See? It's like you want to know how you want your significant other to know how you're feeling. So it's like essay after essay, and call after call, text over text.
It's so funny because when. For me, right? I would text and it would be like this, like long text message, and then it wasn't enough. So I would just send that one and then like the next paragraph and the next paragraph, and their answer would be like,
okay.
Cool. Like, what do you mean, okay? I just gave you my whole life in like 4 messages. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm
like, really?
What?
And it's funny how we're just like that, right? I mean, there's men out there that love to pour their emotions and stuff like that, but it's very rare, honestly. It's very rare. It's like the woman, we're emotionally needy, very emotionally needy. And, men, I feel it's, they hide their
Are we emotionally needy though? Because I like my space. I like my space. I like,
going on and do your thing.
Let me go do my thing. You go do your thing. But like, when I need you, like, and then same thing, with them. So like, it's funny because I'm not that needy, but I just want like the morning call and the good night text.
That's it.
And then like, maybe a text in the middle of the day. Hey baby, how's your day going? It's going great, babe. Okay, dinner? Boom, dinner,
Yeah, no, I didn't mean it like that. It's just like...
Well, how did you mean it, Anita?
How'd you mean it? What you mean?
What you mean?
It's just, I feel... we're more emotionally invested, I guess.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? That's what I meant to say. Not needy as in like, I want your attention like 24/7.
There's some women like that though.
No, there is. And that's something that I've learned.
Yeah.
Is that's when you lack self-love. And it's true because you're trying to feel reassured, you're trying to feel loved by someone, because you are not giving yourself that. And that was my situation, to be honest. Like I said, I'm going to keep it raw and real, and that's how it was. When you do lack self-love, there isn't self-love, you seek validation from others, and especially your significant other, and you're constantly wanting to feel reassured. And even if they take you out on a date, right, they'll go take you on a date, and then you come home, it's an amazing date, and then you come home, you're like, but do you still love me? Like, how much do you love me?
Yeah.
And that comes to all reassurance and self-love.
And that's
and all of that, Yeah. So there is women that are out there who are very needy, and I was one of them. And like
what?
I said, yeah.
You were needy?
I was needy. It's
oh
like,
my gosh,
I want
girls,
your attention.
I couldn't be friends with you.
You're like, ew, podcast, let's end this.
No.
No,
but it's crazy. Like, I would have never considered you that type, the needy type.
Well, it's different. Like, so me and him, we had a relationship. He went, did his thing. I went, did my thing. I never asked him, where are you? What are you doing? No. It was, I gave him his freedom. I had my freedom. And I love that. I love that we both trusted each other enough to not worry about but when it came to when we were together, it was like, I want your attention. Like, I'm seeking your attention. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 24/7. Like,
see, I was the other girl. I was like, where are you? Who you're with? Who was that?
No, not me.
I was that girl. La tóxica.
Por Dios. You have charms. Let me get you the little charms that say la tóxica. Everything la
dude,
tóxica.
I am that type. I was like, why didn't you answer? I called you 20 million times. Why didn't you answer? But that was because I wasn't confident with myself.
See, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and then he was in an industry that, there's a bunch of beautiful women around.
Because he's a
musician. Yeah, he's a musician. And that's how I met him. He was in a very, big group when I met him. So I saw firsthand what women do, and in those type of events.
And I feel like it's harder.
Harder.
I feel like, okay, see, for your industry, it's different because as a musician, when you're a fan, like you're a girl fan, your instincts are, oh my god, I want to hug him, like all up on them.
Yeah.
So I can totally relate why you were feeling that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
it's hard.
And not only that, it's like, when you go to concerts and you see, like you said, Maluma, Mark Anthony, and that kind of stuff, it's like you're there, but they're up there, right?
Right.
Where he would play, it was like, it was a different type of environment. Yeah, it was like a club or, where they're closer.
They have access
to him.
Oh,
and I saw everything. I mean, from the bras to the underwear to the...
See, that's hard.
I was sitting there and be like, ¿Tienes novia? It's like, sí, así está. Pero ella no se molesta, ¿verdad que no te molesta? And I'm like,
¿Y tú cómo dices?
No.
Sucking it in.
I'm just like...
biting your tongue.
And then
I'm not trying to look like that girl.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard.
I get that.
That was a lot of my insecurities.
And I understand 100%.
Plus, I am very controlling a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a Taurus in me. But no, yeah, I was that wife, dude.
And see, for me, it was completely opposite. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm pretty sure they know. Well, you guys know he does work with models. He does more of like influencers and celebrities and stuff like that. And it's different because, yeah, he shoots them, but it's not to the point where it's like, oh, I'm meeting you and I want to hug you and I'm going to throw my bras like yours, right? But I've never had that issue where I felt insecure up until once you start doing things that make, you could just...
Your woman's sixth intuition.
Woman's in
the spidey
intuition.
sense of a woman.
Yes, exactly. So that's when you're like, okay, hold up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I've always had that trust, and I've never really, kept tabs on him. Like, who are you shooting with today? Why are you? It was just, you do your thing. I trust you.
You're the good wife. I used to hack into voicemails.
Oh my God.
Facebook page, everything. Dude.
FBI.
Phone bill. Like, how long were you on the phone with this person? *67, call that number.
No, it's just like, who are you? Do you know David?
Who are you? So if it was a male, hang up. It was a female, but like, yeah, I'm sorry, I have a missed call. Be like, no, come on. And it was like, la tía.
You're like, oh, tía,
¿Qué pasó, amiga? Oh, because you just dial.
Yeah. You're like, oh, tía, No, that beat was just wondering how you were doing.
Yes. But I've gotten good, guys. I've gotten better.
You learn. I feel like it's a learning experience.
Oh, and I definitely, from that person till now, like, I'm definitely more confident. I definitely know what I'm bringing to the table. Ooh. So it's just like...
mic drop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mic drop.
But, now it's just like, okay, like, if you go out and, and you cross that line, that's on you. That's not on me.
Exactly.
You let it go, not me.
Not me.
You decided to get the wonder eye, not me.
Yeah.
So, and I think I will be, I don't think it's an easy way to cope with things, but it's just knowing your self-worth, being confident is going to help you manage situations like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you love yourself in order to love. You can't say, I love you with all my heart if you don't love yourself. 100%. Then that's not love.
Right.
Es costumbre.
Yeah. Wow. Mic drop. Yeah. Damn. See, we're hitting bombs. Ding, 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 ding. But no, it's true. I agree 100% with you. I think self-love. Mm-hmm. We go back to self-love. I think, obviously, I'm not where I want to be yet, but as I'm learning, things start shifting. Mm-hmm. You start seeing things differently. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, wait. Mm-hmm. This was going on, but I was so blinded and there was no self-love for me to step back and reevaluate the whole situation, right? Mm-hmm. So self-love, it's everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. I think when you have self-love, you don't tolerate shit. You set boundaries and things
change.
Start shifting.
Yeah.
You start seeing things way differently.
You actually start seeing the light in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we actually are hitting an hour now. So we want to thank you so much for joining us on our first podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and got to know a little bit about us. And we would definitely be talking more about us as the episodes, we keep doing episodes and they're coming along.
Different topics,
different people, different guests.
Industries, everything.
There's not one niche here. We are just laying it on the table. So
if you guys do have messages, if you guys have requests, if there's a specific topic that you guys want to hear or you want us to talk about, maybe you're struggling with something that we haven't touched base, or anything that helps us to really just target you or others, because there is a lot of topics that we can talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys do have something that you want to learn more of, or just our personal feedback, make sure you send us a message. We'll be leaving our Instagram, all of our information, so you guys can have access to us, to reach out to us, to really connect with us, because like we said, this podcast is more than just a podcast. We really want to build a community. We really want to impact people's life. We never know who's going to make a drastic decision that can change their life. Amen, and that for me is just huge.
Yes.
Huge. So let us know what you guys want. Let us know what you thought about our podcast.
Yes.
Because
don't be too raw on that.
It is our first podcast, so we're only going to get better. It's only going to get better. We're going to improve. It's all about improving.
Yes.
But we're forever thankful.
Yes,
I'm forever thankful. My heart just feels so full of love from all the love and all the support that you guys have been showing to us. I feel like we just posted our Instagram page and we grew overnight, literally overnight. It was unexpected, and I
honestly was not expecting that.
She was doubting it.
I was doubting it. I was being my worst critic, and I was like, Anita, I don't know. And she's like, we're doing it. I was like, okay. But
it was girl, don't worry. We
got this.
Yes, we got this.
So you see, this is what the community is about. When she's down, I'm there. When I'm down, she's there. And, it's not perfect. There's days that, I call you and be like, dude, it's one of those days.
Like shit.
Yeah. And then vice versa. But that's what we're here for you. That's what we want to be that person for you. So like she said, feel free to reach out, send us a message, and we are reading everything you're posting. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on the next podcast on Ain't That Some Shh.
Bye guys. Mwah.